Hello and welcome to Mundo Hagogo. We are 1 week into our 3-week holiday, call it vacation if you like, to the Philippines, so it seems an appropriate point in time to give you my thoughts on what you might expect from this channel over the coming days and weeks. To put things in context, Melody, my wife, is a Filipino and has been living with me in Spain and then in England since 2016. I myself haven't been back in the Philippines since a year prior to that, back in the October of 2015. And because of everything that's happened in Europe and in the world in general, we haven't been able to get here for one reason or another. So it was with a sense of distinct relief when our aircraft wheels finally hit the Manila runway concrete a few days ago. Our itinerary is and was as follows. We spent 2 days in Manila recovering from the journey, meeting up with some friends and family down here and doing a little sightseeing. But the weather was atrocious and all we got was a thorough soaking in Baclaran Market. We had planned to spend the first evening watching the sunset over Manila Bay and rendering ourselves barely coherent with the help of some brightly coloured cocktails at a rooftop bar not far from our hotel. But thunderstorms put paid to that romantic plan. So we ended up at Pizza Hut, drinking lukewarm Coke and chomping on pepperoni pizzas while they buzzed around us trying to pack everything away for the night. We had planned to do a food tour through Binondo, which is Manila's Chinatown and allegedly the oldest one in the world, tucking into some weird and unique food choices, but because the weather was looking more like the apocalypse was about to descend upon Manila, that plan was scuppered, and so we suppered on the most exotic things available from the local 7-Eleven. A 7-Eleven mukbang rates pretty high on the challenging scale when it comes to making an interesting video. Probably wasn't going to be very exciting at all, so we didn't bother. But it isn't all bad news, because following that, we flew from Manila to Laoag City in the north, in Ilocos Norte, to spend a week with the family. Our plane was delayed some 4 to 5 hours, and I hope it's the only time that happens because we have some connecting flights planned later on in our holiday. But anyway, we'll cross those bridges when we get to them. Meanwhile, in a barangay near to Laoag City, several buffets and boodle fights have been happening, with the ubiquitous videoke singers caterwauling into the night. And for once, the weather played its part beautifully, and we had a wonderful trip to Madongan Dam in our very own jeepney for the day, and another great day thrashing 4x4 vehicles around the sand dunes at La Paz. Not very eco-friendly, but never mind. The videos for these adventures will be up on the channel soon, if they aren't already, so check them out when you get time, if you'd like. The weather all week has been a beautiful 30 degrees and sunshine wall to wall. So the videos of those should be pretty spectacular in an entirely different way to those from Manila. So that's us up to date. But this coming Thursday we fly back to Manila and then catch another flight, this time to Kalibo. In Kalibo it's fiesta time and we'll be diving into the Ati-Atihan fiesta for 3 days before heading northwards to the beautiful island paradise of Boracay for another 3 nights. You can expect helmet diving, you can expect jet ski driving, you can expect Olympic standard lazing about and buffet grazing. And next, after that, we head for Cebu City, which was my wife's birthplace, incidentally, and we'll spend 3 nights there visiting such delights as the dried fish market, but also the Taoist temple and the various viewpoints up in the hills around the city. We'll then head off on a ferry to Bohol, where we'll follow the well-trodden tourist footsteps to the Chocolate Hills, the Taze Sanctuary and the Laoag River. The roads are much quieter there allegedly, and so my wife has relented and I've been promised that I can rent a scooter without her having a nervous breakdown over my imminent death in a 4-scooter pile-up. Finally, after that, we head back to Manila and have 3 days, 3 nights exploring the city still further before we reluctantly head back to the UK. As you can probably tell, we aren't your average vlogging couple. For a start, you're unlikely to see me attempting a backflip into a waterfall pool anytime soon. I'm more of a floating about on a lilo kind of vlogger. You'll be glad to know that swimming underwater and showing my butt cheeks as often as possible will not feature in any forthcoming videos. And speaking of things that are behind me, the days of pointlessly trekking up a mountainside, then standing at the top of it, looking all triumphant for all of 30 seconds before traipsing all the way back down again, didn't appeal to me when I was in my 20s, so it's not going to now that I'm pushing 60. If I really feel compelled to take in the vista from a mountaintop, maybe I'll fire up the drone. I solemnly vow not to pepper my chatter with buzzword phrases such as super awesome, insane, bonkers and bananas. It's not going to happen, I promise. Nor will quite ordinary food be described as if it were the output of a Michelin-starred chef. Street food is usually tasty and filling. It isn't usually a gourmet experience. If it's edible, I'll maybe score it out of 10. And if not, I'll let you know so you don't waste your money. As you've probably worked out by now, I'm more of a grumpy old bloke than a long-haired, ab-bearing wannabe influencer. I'm short on patience, short of functional knee joints, and usually short of breath. You can expect to see me waddling around the islands of the Philippines, muttering grumpily, sweating profusely, and keeping a beady eye out for an ice-cold San Mig light. I like level ground, with spectacular views, daybeds in the shade, and a cooling breeze, and I like my nature to be deep fried in a crispy batter. I like my food distinctly meaty, so you vegans can cry over your spilt almond milk because many pigs will be consumed during the next few days. That's what the Philippines is famous for. Vegans would have you believe that farting cows are causing irreparable damage to the planet, and so I'm on a one-man mission to eat them all. They don't fart much once they've been on the grill. No need to thank me, vegan people, for saving your planet single-handedly. I'm just doing my job. I'll be taking in some red horses too. Back in the UK, I drive a taxi. So as I tell my customers, get in, sit down, belt up, and hold on tight, because anything could happen in the next few videos. See you soon. Bye-bye.